Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's good to see you. Apollo's in the background, relaxing. This collective reading is for everybody that's present. It's going to help us navigate the week ahead. I like to start off with channeled messages, then we get into a 7-day strategic breakdown of each and every day. And then after that, we have a special topic. And I have to tell you, I'm pleasantly surprised that Pluto is what won. So we'll be looking at areas of release, rebirth, and renewal, which is so valuable. And I think it can help many of us who feel stuck. It can also help many of us that might be afraid to look at something. Pluto's really great energy because basically it's like the death card in tarot. It's very powerful, but not always embraced. So fantastic choice. You couldn't have made me happier today. We'll be using 2 of the 3 new decks that I have as well. I just did a review on it. I really wanted to use the other one, but I have to go through there and put some tape on a couple of the cards, and also I may need to separate out some of the bonus ones. So I'll put that into the next sign reading, and we'll have that one next weekend. It gives us something to look forward to. Okay, let's begin with the channeled messages. By the way, everything here is for anyone that showed up. The only thing that is sign specific is the elemental forecast, which will come in shortly as well. Okay. So channeled messages, probably because everything was kind of mythological in theme with the voting choices. What came through is pomegranate, actually, as I was meditating. And pomegranate is a fantastic fruit, but it's kind of difficult to get into. All these beautiful seeds that are kind of crunchy and sweet and have this unique taste, but it's in this very hard shell, kind of a star shape when you cut it, which is cool because it's kind of like an Ace of Pentacles. But it's worth the work. That's what I kind of get. Definitely Ace of Pentacles energy with it. You wouldn't be able to see that until you open it up. And then you still have to do a little work to reap the rewards, to bring things to fruition. So some of us are at that stage where we see something, but we don't know what the potential is. Some of us have just cut through some of the red tape, but there's still some work, and that's frustrating. And basically, this symbol is just saying, keep on going. Something sweet follows. This is also connected with, again, the gods and goddesses. And so this is about leaning into your power, working your magic, and really focusing on not giving up. And I think some of us need that. It's been a chaotic year. It's been a tumultuous year. There's a lot of uncertainty. So it's really good to fix your focus, your attention to something where you know you can make an impact. It's a good use of your time and energy, and it really helps bring you into your power. And that is the channeled message. Something sweet follows, but it does require the work. So again, kudos to those of you that have been working hard. It will be worth it in the long run. Okay, so let's see. I am going to move on to the 7-day forecast, and I'm wondering, I could always in real time just put the stickies on if something comes up. So I might use I might use the new deck for the 7-day forecast, but no, I'm going to wait on that one because I know that I have to edit it for some of YouTube's policies. So we'll wait on that. Okay. Let's see. Let's use this one instead. I hope everybody's doing well today. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule, whether you're watching live or on replay. It's good to see you. All right, take a deep breath like I am. Let it go. Allow your thoughts to be cleared with that exhalation. Create a circle of light around your body. Call in angel, spirit guides, and ascended masters. Allow that circle to be a barrier that protects you from anything that is not in your highest good. All right, let's begin and see what's coming through for the next 7 days, starting with today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right. Here we go, folks. We're going to begin again with today, this Sunday. And this looks familiar. We have Temperance coming through. 1 foot on 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land. It's about taking one step at a time and testing the waters before you sort of dive head first. We just pulled this a couple of days ago, but it bears repetition or it wouldn't have come through for today. This is also one of the angelic cards in the major arcana. It's interesting that they put the word art on top of this. There is an art to patience. There is an art to listening to yourself and gently moving along your path. And that patience is going to pay off, kind of connecting it to the pomegranate imagery. You know, it's like fruit, or if you're baking something, you have to wait until it's done or it's ripe or it's ready. So that's really the message here, is nothing before its time. Also, the Temperance Angel holds 2 cups, and today is about listening to your heart, finding what feels right with all respects in your life, whether it is, you know, your health, your money, your passion projects, finding a way to seek out some balance in all of that. And then taking time to tune in. I mean, when was the last time you just gave yourself a few minutes to sit uninterrupted, whether you're listening to music, meditating, or just taking a deep breath? It is so important, and that's really what we get with this beautifully illustrated card. So how does it apply to general activities? Just take things slowly, no rush. Sometimes we put a rush on ourselves, and it doesn't help. Have you ever noticed when people come through, whether it's a boss or someone else, and they're like, I want this now, where is this? Why haven't you done it? It has the opposite effect on inspiring you. It usually shuts you down and creates panic. So separate yourself from people and energies that are demanding unfairly of you, and that is going to be good for mental health as well, not just, you know, general stability. It is absolutely appropriate that this comes before this, because that means you can avoid this. So on Monday, we have everybody's favorite, the 10 of Swords. What I do like about this illustration is it's mostly a mental card. Instead of having it on the ground in a pool of blood, we have the clouds representing the mental fatigue and the burnout that is also a part of this, or consistent with the 10 of Swords. So don't overwork yourself. Be in your power enough to say no. Work smarter, not harder. This is something I'm trying to do lately as well. Find a way for efficiencies to come through so that you feel like you can still do what you need to without completely tapping out that battery. What you want to avoid on Monday: unnecessary conflict. What you also want to avoid: working too many hours, having a conversation when your emotions aren't in a balanced place. What the Temperance Angel is doing here will help you. Before initiating a difficult conversation, ask the other person, how are you doing today? Check in with yourself. How am I doing today? Think about that. And check on the timing. Does the other person want to listen to you? Do you have the patience to have the conversation? Otherwise, it's kind of like what my dog is doing in the background. It's just going to be this, like chaotic and a little crazy. So let's give Apollo a pat on the head. Hey, buddy, it's all good. You're fine. A little bit of reassurance can help. He's still going to go at it. And so you really want to know where someone else is at. Are they in the fight or flight mode? Are they busy, chaotically busy? If so, this isn't the best time for the conversation. And on Monday, you just want to be mindful of that to save time, energy, and remember, once you've said something, you can't put it back in the box. I just did a reading for Leo, I believe, and there was this Pandora's Gift card, which I really liked, but there is a flip side to Pandora, which is when it's said, when it's out of the box, it can't go back in. So think it through, think it twice, and then think it one more time, and then if you still want to say it, you can say it, okay? All right, so let's move on to Tuesday. The pause that you take today, the prudence is the word that comes through, but it's just sort of like maturity, really, that you exude on Monday also pays off. And by Tuesday, we have a very Sagittarian-looking Two of Wands here. He has his bow and arrow. Actually, he has 2 bows here. And so one thing that I would say with the Two of Wands is you can't do it all at once. He doesn't have 4 arms, so he can't pull the strings to those 2 bows. He's going to have to make a decision. But the Two of Wands is very much the exploratory discovery phase of something. So give yourself a chance to look and find where the fire or the passion is, because this is the suit of fire. And it's interesting that Dominion comes through as the helper word on this. I think part of it is understanding that you have the power to go in a couple of directions. You can seek input, you can seek advice, but ultimately, it's you and you alone that needs to sort of decide what fits your sort of path best. You may also have to do some target practice. Try some things out in a sort of sandbox environment. What I mean is, like, when we're a little kid, we can build things up, we can break them down in the sandbox, nothing's lost. So find a safe space where you can explore what you want to do before you do what you're going to do. It's very similar to the Temperance Angel, but you're just getting a little bit more hands-on with it. Dreaming, daydreaming, vision board, energy, journaling, blueprinting, all of that is a part of this. So in short, planning and discovery in like a corporate environment for all the rest of us, daydreaming and thinking about what if, ... and not boxing ourselves in too much, okay? Middle of the week. So we have basically 2 days that are carved out for self-care, Monday and Wednesday. Wednesday's a little bit more manageable, and what's coming through are energies around self-confidence and also just listening to your body. So we have a reversed Five of Pentacles, meaning that you see it happen before it happens. Again, if we look at this card, some fatigue and isolation is coming through in this beautiful illustration. Behind it, there is shelter or resources to be had. So if you feel like you have to do everything all the time, reach out and ask for some support if it exists. If there's someone in your life that consistently picks at you or rejects you or closes the door, find another door that's open, because that is the hidden truth in the Five of Pentacles. There is a door that's open somewhere. It may not be the one that you want. It may not even be the one that you need, but there is something else, something that can help. So keep knocking on the doors, keep exploring the options. That's what the Two of Wands was about the day before. What's a good thing to do on Wednesday? Negotiate for more. So if you're not getting enough, ask. Say, I'd be happy to help you with this, but I need more, ... time, energy, support, etc. You can also push back. I'm tired, I need to rest today. And you can cut ties with people and energies and also engagements that take more than they give, because we want to get this to the balance card that is the Six of Pentacles. In order to do that, you have to say no. That's one of the intrinsic qualities of the Six of Pentacles, okay? So self-care. When it comes to general health, your knees, ankles, and feet, lower extremities are often affected with that card. Usually you see someone on crutches. So you want to be careful about circulation, watch where you're walking, and that's really the main takeaways for that. Okay, let's go to Thursday. Ace of Swords. Things are starting to happen. If you're looking to get a yes, you can get a yes. You can get a signature on the dotted line. This is a great day to put something in front of someone and saying, hey, do you approve? Can I get your signature? If you have a boss or a lawyer or anybody that you really want to get the yes from, Thursday is the yes day. This is also Spirit saying, what are you doing for all the stuff that came through on Tuesday? The plans, the goals, the imagination. How are you bringing it into fruition? And the previous day provides a block here, which is I can't, I won't, it will never. And this one is saying, yes, I can, yes, I will. This is how I'm going to do it. So go to the affirmative, create an action plan in your life, and get the help that you need, get the signatures that you need. This is a great day for sparking action, however you need it, whatever you're looking for. Moving on to Friday, we have the Princess or the Page of Pentacles. Pretty good. The card is in reverse, however, so it is a day of asking and seeking. So if, again, there's something that you want, a fantastic day to negotiate, renegotiate, or communicate what it is that you want. If we zoom in on her, we can see that she has a pregnant belly, which is bringing forth things that are fruitful. We see all the flowers in front of her as the pentacles. So things are growing, blooming. You're starting to get into the queen energy, which is birthing and creating. It all has to start somewhere. So there's a little bit of nurturing that needs to be done, including self-care. So whenever we have court cards in the Suit of Pentacles in reverse, it's also saying this is a great day to immerse yourself in an enrichment activity. That sounds not so fun. Sounds more like school, but you know what I'm talking about. This could even be, just doing something that you've always wanted to do, whether you enjoy going to like a concert, for instance, or you want to go to the museum, or I almost said the library, but I know some of us like to do that, but library, museum, education, or doing something for yourself that just allows yourself to feel pampered. I usually get a little bit more of that with the Queen, so it doesn't have to be something elaborate. Just a little bit of spoiling yourself Doesn't have to cost a lot of money or time. It'll be well worth it, okay? And that's everything for this day. Let's now move on to the weekend, next weekend. As we look at next Saturday, we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. We have a pretty even split this week with uprights and reversals, which I like. It's showing an evening out of the energy. But on Saturday, you might have to let something go, something that you've been holding on to. Here's the cool thing. Even in the reverse position, you see an upright cup reflecting. So it's clear what's necessary. It's just a matter of follow through, okay? And we also don't want to get lost in retrospective energy, thinking of would have, could have, should have, which is very much in alignment with what I was talking about with today's daily reading. So it's mirrored back here, an echo of that. The past is the past. It can inform the present, but it shouldn't block the present. There may be unreciprocated feelings either on your part or someone else's. There needs to be a two-way connection for something to work. So if you're feeling it but someone else isn't, time to move on. If they're feeling it but you're not, be clear with your boundaries and intentions. It will save you time in the long run. It's sometimes hard to say what you need to say, but invariably it will help you out. You'll feel better for that, okay? Good. All right, let's move on to next Sunday. I'm just going to pull the card up. We have the Nine of Pentacles coming through. So they chose to just show how abundant it is in this particular illustration. Typically, there's a woman in a garden. She has this beautiful, elaborate bird on her shoulder. There's all of these flowers that are blooming all around her and a little tiny snail in the foreground. So what we see here is it's worth the work. The pomegranate that I was talking about that requires time to grow, effort to cut into, a little bit more work to extract the seeds, that general work is worth it. The sweetness comes through a week from today. And we also see a new archway kind of here, something opening up. It's not completely there, but it's almost there. This is a card of independent self-sufficiency. And again, it rewards patience, consistent effort, and doing something right over doing something fast. So a very fruitful day overall. Let's look at challenges and the highlights. So highlights and lowlights. The highlights of the week. I actually think the card that I just talked about is a highlight. I think everything pays off about a week from today. Two other highlights, they just jump out of the deck here, are Tuesday and Thursday. So Tuesday, the vision comes together. Thursday, the execution happens. And on next Sunday, it feels like all the work pays off. The biggest challenges exist on Monday and Wednesday. You don't want to burn yourself out. You don't want to have an argument. And again, here you might need to ask for more. It comes back as a lesson again on Friday. And I think Thursday or Friday are the days to negotiate. This is the day to seek what you need. Figure out what the value or the worth or the need might be. Okay? We're going to now expand into the elements. Elements is the only part of this reading that is sign specific. Everything else is for everybody that's here. Okay. So let's take a look at them. I'm going to use a new deck for the elements here. All right, so let's see what's going on with fire, earth, air, and water. All right, we'll start off with the fire signs. The star, but the star in reverse. All right, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, you know what you need. You know how to get there. You know what you want. But there may be this desire to please everyone else. Look at all of the coins here. And it's kind of hard to see the star amidst all of this. I'm even looking for it, and I don't quite see it. This is kind of the riches and the beauty that comes with the star, but it isn't what the star is about. So sometimes we can get lost in the desire to please, to accomplish, to also kind of like have the masses understand everything that we're doing. So you want to really align with who you are, what you want, and don't worry so much about this. It usually follows once everything comes into focus. Don't dim or mute your light for others. If there are people in your life that are constantly telling you, be more like this person, or why can't you do this instead? This is a recalibration moment. Now, the star often, after the tower comes the star. So you might be picking up the pieces in your life and wondering, am I ever going to get there? We already saw in the weekly, I can't answer like the well, you'll have to wait till the monthly, or if I ever, do a quarterly one. But like for this week, I see that it comes through next Sunday. Like things start to come into focus. So we really just want to focus on the week ahead and not get so lost in all of this. So yes, it will come together, but this is a moment to be discerning, to focus on your vision, not to let other people pull you off that path, and trust in your power and know that you will rise up from whatever challenge exists. The reason the star happens after one of the most disruptive cards in tarot is it's much like this universe, this galaxy that we're in, solar system. Everything here is from a star that went supernova. From that came heavier metals, rocks, and other elements like helium, hydrogen, first two elements in the universe. Big stars formed from that. And as those big stars exploded, all of the other elements in that periodic table formed. So we're all star stuff. Everything here is star stuff. The ring on your finger, the plastic in your glass, all of it. It's from a star that went supernova. So things have to fall apart so that sometimes we can pick them up and create something better. You may be in this sorting period this week, so allow yourself to figure out, how can I recompile this into a different star? You don't have to repeat something that was successful in the past. You have to rebuild and imagine something new. And that's actually the theme of today. So if you're stuck, just stick around until the special topic, because Pluto will help you through that, okay? You've got this fire signs. The star is one of the best cards in the deck, so just trust in the process. Okay, moving on from fire to earth. We have Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn here. Time to come out of your shell. We have a beautiful hermit crab, and safety is kind of what some of you are leaning into right now. And there is a time and a place to hermit, a time and a place to protect yourself. But over the course of the week, I think especially after we get out of those safety days, the 10 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles, so Monday and Wednesday, once you get out of those energies, I think you can come out of the shell a little bit. Even a hermit crab needs to come out of its shell from time to time. Fun fact, if there's a series of hermit crabs on the beach, a lot of times they'll do a shell swap where, maybe 5 of them will get together and they try on each other's shells, and it's usually the smallest one that has to kind of find another one, but they can all upgrade if possible. So it might be time to look for a place where you can feel like you have room to grow. Hermit crabs can get painted into a space that's too small. So this is also an encouragement to get out of habits that have been too confining or predictable. And until you give yourself space to grow, you're not going to be able to. So there's a little takeaway with this beautiful new illustration that comes through on that. Okay. So what do I like about the hermit? Knowledge, the ability to expand your knowledge, also the ability to lead and be the light in the dark. Let me see if I still have I do have the traditional, because I just read for another sign yesterday. So you can step forward and be the leader that you are, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So shine the light, especially when other people can't or won't. Be the leader that you are. All right, moving forward to the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. 6 of Swords. Time to move forward. I actually like the 6 of Swords because if you've been stuck, it's almost like an inevitability. I can't tell you the speed at which you might be traveling, but I can tell you that there'll be a breakthrough or some sort of pivotal change this week. It's just a matter of deciding, are you going to aid or kind of feed that change? Because in the 6 of Swords, I'll see if I can find the traditional illustration while I'm gabbing here, but in the traditional 6 of Swords, the person's actually rowing the ship. There is a passenger, but it's more powerful if you're not waiting for the wind to blow you, for someone else to make the path, but rather to be the one that is pushing it forward. So you'll get there no matter what, but you could get there faster if you're willing to put in just a little bit more effort, okay? So here's the traditional illustration. Are you the driver? Are you the passenger? There's actually 2 passengers there. Also, you can get there faster if you don't carry all of those swords. So sometimes we carry a lot of baggage, energetic baggage from one thing to another. So one thing that can help you before you make another move, you can literally declutter, but it's also thoughts and energies. So cord cutting is necessary, releasing things are necessary, stepping into something new and thinking, what's possible? How can I make this happen? All right? So also just looking forward to the future. This is a great week, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, to set some goals and then allow them to set sail. Okay. Now let's move on to the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. It's all nautical with this particular deck, but we have the Three of Pentacles here. If you watch my readings regularly, you'll know that one of the things that I like with Three of Pentacles is a more hands-on approach. Same thing with Three of Wands. This one, we see the fruits of your effort also taking sail. So how can you get the ship sailing here, which is aligned with the Three of Wands? Sending the email, picking up the phone and making the conversation happen, meeting someone face to face. It's combining the energies of Three of Wands and Three of Swords. I'm going to pull the traditional card while we're talking too, because the other thing is teamwork. But in order to make the teamwork happen, which you'll see in a second, you may need to get on some form of transportation or like a conference call so that you can have a face-to-face conversation to facilitate clearer communication. Here's what we see, and this is what I mean with the teamwork. They're all together. We don't have to physically be in the same space, but you need to bridge the physical gap and again, have a real-time conversation, whether it's just voice or you're seeing the face as well. Teamwork makes the dream work. Recognition may also be en route. Just because you haven't heard good news doesn't mean that it can't or won't happen. Finally, this is a card of education and training yourself, gaining knowledge, etc. is going to set you in the right path and set your dreams in motion. Okay? Beautiful energy. Great week ahead for all of the elements and all of the signs. Now, let's get into our special topic for today. Again, if you just joined, perfect timing. Everything will be available on replay later. Special topic today is Pluto. Pluto is such a powerful god because it's connected to death and rebirth, Hades, basically, in Greek mythology. And when it comes to astrology, when it comes to the focus for today, it's death, rebirth, transformation, even looking at the things that we're afraid of. So this is a chance to help us explore the dreams, the unknown, and find our power. Before I get any further in this reading, if you're brand new, make sure that you subscribe. Everybody else, if you could like the video once, and when this goes on replay, share it and comment. It really helps. All right, let me go ahead, put the camera down, and we're going to use one of the 3 new decks that I have here. Next week, we'll use another one. And I'll be putting all of these into rotation as we move into the month ahead. These were all free, just a courtesy from US Games. So thanks, guys. All right, close your eyes again, connecting with guides and with your higher self. Let's give the cards a shuffle and see what's in store. Pluto is really powerful, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some really significant cards make an appearance here. Yep, Pluto's a teacher. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. I mean, hello, we'll just pause for a second. Totally in alignment with Pluto energy. All right, let's get started here. We're going to begin with our catalyst energy. Like I said, I had to stop for a moment. Visions of life beyond death. Literally, Pluto. This is about renewal. This is about seeing an end as a portal to a beginning. And the older I get, the more that I go through in life, the more that I understand that those really big moments in life, particularly when something comes to a close, they absolutely punctuate a next big chapter. Many of you are students out there, and I know you're going through graduation. This is exciting. Everything's about to shift and move. Many of you may have just gotten married, divorced, had a kid, or gotten retired. These also are pivotal life movements. And maybe you went through a death or a loss. I've been there. It absolutely changes every fabric of your soul and being. Typically for the better. You're going to be stronger through the experience. So whatever the death moment is, whatever the death of the old self, because it doesn't have to be literal, it creates the necessary sort of quantum leap that brings you into the next chapter of your life. So this is going to be an exciting week. You guys were absolutely reading the energy. It was almost like not a unanimous, but it was a very clear lead for Pluto. I can see why. And I think for some of us, it's because it's frustrating. It's like, I liked the predictable, what I had, what I could kind of rely on. And the universe is saying, I know, but it's time to fly out of the nest and try something new. So we're going to look at that this week. I'll try to help you navigate any of the fears or uncertainties. Particularly at the end, we'll probably do a triptych and do 3 cards, release, rebirth, renewal. But I'll try to identify some of those themes as we look through the swords, through the cards. We're going to start with the 3 of Swords at the center. So this is the first thing here, is that it's not only okay but vital to feel the emotion of pain. It actually is a survival thing. So when we touch a hot surface and go, ouch, it keeps us from burning our hand even worse. When we step on something like broken glass and it hurts, it helps us from continuing to walk in that area. Pain is there to indicate stop. Sometimes we feel like we need to feel pain in order to get ahead or do something. No, it's something that helps us move in a different direction. So if you're feeling the pain, good, that means you're alive and that means that you're aware. Now figure out where to pivot. But before you can pivot, you have to figure out what's causing the pain, which may be physical, may be metaphysical, may be emotional. And this is where you're going to take the necessary steps in your own life to address that. Then the healing can take place. But if you don't address the cause of the wound exists and just kind of festers. So Pluto is super, like, no nonsense. So I'm channeling Pluto energy today, and that's what Pluto says. You got to fix the source of the pain. You can't just put a bandage on top of it. Okay? This is also about listening to your heart and knowing that you deserve to be happy. I don't know if anyone's told you that in a minute or two, but you deserve to be happy. We don't have to come to the planet and be sad. It is a teacher, it is a path, but it isn't the path or the only way. And no matter what someone told you about your self-worth, because 5 of Pentacles energy came through, I see your worth. I think you're worth it. I think you should enjoy life and achieve happiness. So I hope that you can too. Once you allow yourself to love and receive that energy unconditionally, then things start to move. But you have to unconditionally love and accept yourself. I can't do that for you. You may need to talk to someone. You may just need some time. Practice makes perfect. And keep me posted in the comments on that. Okay. So we have bookends, the world and the fool. It's already happened. There was a line in Battlestar Galactica, which is something like, it's all happened before, it'll all happen again. There's a longer sort of line with that. But it feels like there is a cycle that is about to repeat for some of you. There is a reward that is about to happen, but there is a question of, are you ready to go into the path of expansion? Or are you going to walk in another direction because you're afraid of what might be calling, okay? So let's look at the world. This is much like Pandora, which I just read, I think it was in Leo, when the seed has opened up, you can't push the growth back. So I think back to parents sometimes when they would say, I just wish you could be my little kid again, my little boy, my little girl, whatever. No, yeah, I get what they're saying, but no, we can't push the maturation back. You can long for, like when you have a little dog or a little kid, you're like, oh, I miss the baby days, but you never want to stop the growth or inhibit the growth. And if anyone said that to you, you know how it feels. You're like, yeah, but I'm grown up, or yes, but. So we need to embrace this sort of maturity that's coming through and know that it will carry you through to the next level. This almost gives me a, sort of like quick connection to Jack and the Beanstalk. I feel like things are about to happen and kind of elevate so quickly that there's not a lot of time for doubt or hesitation. It's more about saying, yeah, this is what I signed up for. I can do this, okay? You may be looking at a physical move. You may be looking to pivot professionally. You may be entering into one of those significant transformation moments. So Death and World are at a party, they'd be hanging out together. Actually, Death, Judgment, and World, all of them would be at the bar sharing a drink, having a conversation about, look at that, look at what happened here. The Tower would be over in the corner saying, hey guys, I helped you out, don't forget about me. But these big shifts, these big changes are inevitable in our life, and you've got what it takes here. It's just about thinking like, instead of why me, it's more like what next, or how can I leverage this to spread my wings, okay? All right, so yeah, love the World card. Now let's take a look at the deep past. Thankfully, many of you have done the work. We have this lovely Tauran King of Pentacles coming through. What's interesting is people are coming to him for advice. So you may be looking for someone to paint the path in front of you or show you what to do, but you've already kind of become the King of Pentacles, and it's about leaning into your own knowledge, trust, and leadership to take that step. I'm definitely getting like grown-up energy. And for some of you, it could be because a trusted mentor, parent, etc. has transitioned. It might be because you find yourself in a point in life where nobody can advise you. So Spirit's coming through and showing you in the deep past, which is like the roots of this spread, that you're good. As long as you stay grounded in trusting your instincts. One thing that I like about Taurus energy is that it is stubborn. Once it's picked a path, I speak from experience because I have a Tauran moon, but like once you pick a path and you know what you want, like the bull comes through and pushes you forward. So there you go. This is like that pomegranate or Ace of Pentacles, but keep your eye on that prize, keep your mind on what it is that you're trying to do, staying in the expansive energy of the world. Recent past, Magician, just a little bit beneath the veil, which is really cool. So we have Magician energy, she has a little bit of a veil, and so she's starting to peer through and see her own power, see what's coming through. I actually love that we have autumnal energy here, all the pumpkins at the bottom. And so that takes a while for those pumpkins to grow. It takes most of the summer and then a couple of months into the fall. So we're looking at something that could be like 3 to 5 months of incubation and growth, but it's definitely worth it. And a pumpkin, if you don't cut into it, can stick around for a month or so. So I see a longevity to whatever it is that you're working on as well. And so, yeah, Magician. Sorry, it looked like High Priestess, but it's Magician. So, but I feel like it's already halfway there. That's the cool thing. This looks like the High Priestess to me as I'm looking at it. So it's Magician with High Priestess energy there already. In fact, what's interesting about this illustration is there are no tools here. So it feels like you don't need to reach for it. It's already within. So I see Magician, but I also am reading it as High Priestess. So I feel like it's like that. The only thing that's necessary for you to skip forward to the High Priestess is trust. The Magician needs to focus and needs to believe. So if you lack the focus or lack the belief, then you'll stay stuck at the Magician phase, which is learning to harness your power. But if you trust in it and you focus, you can go straight into manifesting, okay? If there's something that's tricky, you can work your magic and fix it. Looking at the crowning position, we have the Three of Wands. It's the most unusual Three of Wands that I've seen. But I kind of get why they have the fish, because typically you would see ships. So there always is a little bit of a nautical theme on this. And by the way, someone's asking about where you can get info on the cards. Look at my last published video, literally. I cover all of these because they were gifted to me, and there's links to them. All right, Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands shows almost instantaneous energy of manifestation. So if there's something that you're trying to develop and you're asking yourself, when can it happen? It's saying it's happening. Or you just need to look over here or look over here. So she's a swimmer. She's surfing through this sort of energy of possibilities. So give yourself a chance to get out there and look around. So I'm going to pull the traditional card just because they're so wildly different that I want you to look at it. All right, so typically the person is passively standing on this perch, and the ships in the background are starting to come forth. They're looking, they're waiting. She's out there swimming. And so it's really about finding a way. Even she's in a desert, by the way. So even when things don't seem to be growing, you could find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. The Suit of Wands is magic. Think about it, magic wands, right? And the Queen of Wands is one of the key energies of that. So typically the magician also has a wand. So it's just about using your magic, leaning into your magic. And you can make it happen faster if you look in the right direction and if you believe in what's possible, okay? Near future, King of Swords. Walk the walk, talk the talk. Okay, the interesting thing with this too is that it may take, I'm looking at the two birds around him, it may take a couple of months for everything to process and come together. At least 2 to 3 months, a quarter of the year is what I'm seeing for things to happen. But you need to, it's like you need to put it in writing, you need to make a call, make an email, and then follow through and then just start moving forward. Because if you're constantly waiting for others, this is especially for the air signs out there where we have the Six of Swords, if you're constantly waiting, it could just hold you back a little bit. So this is really showing your power to breathe life into things. I'm thinking of like Zephyr, the wind, the energy of moving forth. Okay? People may be more interested in your public speaking skills, your advice. This may be a time where you seek out legal expertise. All of this is important. So absolutely now is a great time to lean into that. Once I get through the Celtic Cross, I'll briefly look at the main themes of Pluto, but I just want to work through the cross first. Okay, looking at how you're showing up this month. Slow, steady, but definite growth and recovery. So this one is in alignment with Pluto. Because Seven of Pentacles often comes after a period where you've overextended, where maybe you've even extinguished resources. And so like if you've gone into debt, if you've gotten sick and you're looking to recover either physically, emotionally, or financially, of course, then this card is showing you're getting there. She's climbing a ladder. She's continuing to water all of the flowers around her, and she knows I can't make it grow faster than it is. I can't beat myself up over what has come to pass, but I can control what's about to happen. The now and the next. Thematically, that's something over the past 2 months that has come into my third eye. What now? What next? Learn from the past, but don't live in the past. Lots of bumper stickers there for you, but they're all good things to live by. There is a test often in the energy of the Seven of Pentacles, which basically entails the following lesson. Know your limits. Know that it's important sometimes to just say no. You have to pull back a little bit because overextending is like a rubber band, like in the Two of Pentacles, and it will break. You've already learned that lesson, but it bears repetition. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on in the environment. Well, I love that you're getting a level up. So how can we get into Eight of Pentacles energy? It is an education card. Slightly different from the Three of Pentacles, though. This is apprenticeship where the other one is mastery. So this would be something like self-taught energy. It can be just getting a certification. It doesn't necessarily always entail having to go to a traditional school, etc. This is about, for my writers out there, the fact that we had either one of these cards, depending on where you fell in the elements, because we had Three of Pentacles earlier. But for this one, it's about drafting it out. There's plenty of time for perfection later. This is not about perfection. This is about production, and this is about getting it out on paper. So don't worry so much about having it all right on the first pass. Usually there's a couple of drafts, a couple of edits, and trust in your wisdom. We have that sly little fox coming through, helping you get where you need to go, okay? Pay attention to the details. Sometimes I say don't sweat the small stuff. In this situation, pay attention to the details. There might be something in the fine print that can help you, or there may be a hurdle that you need to somehow deal with in the fine print. Super important, okay? Now looking at hopes, fears, and opportunities, we have the Hierophant coming through. All right, so there are multiple things that come through with Hierophant energy. On the plus side, the Hierophant is a born leader and a natural organizer. So there may be something in your life that requires structure. And as much as we may resist it, sometimes it's necessary. It also represents a gatekeeper. You may need to get a nod of approval from someone. There comes a point, depending on how you read the card, where you become the Hierophant. And what you can do is say, if I don't align with that, I can very much become an entrepreneur and just do it myself. And so for some of you, this is a moment to lean into the internal knowledge that you can do it, that you will do it, and simply start it on your own. So entrepreneurial energy as well. If you're looking to teach, we have the two disciples at the seat of the Hierophant, showing that people are ready to receive. They're willing to possibly invest. And then we have, again, this public speaking energy here. So even if you don't normally consider yourself a teacher or a public speaker, there's definitely energy around it today, okay? And ends and beginnings. The final card is the first card. The first card was the final card. Are we seeing a theme? Something comes to an end and then something new happens because of it. It's perfectly thematically connected to Pluto or to Hades or to death or transformation. So you've worked hard for this moment. And once it happens, there's freedom. Morning glory. I was talking to Leo about the morning glory. So when I was a little kid, I loved this because my parents had tossed out some seeds in our yard, but they grew like a weed. So they kind of regretted it, but they smelled really sweet and they captured the sun. Like there's these little pockets of light like you see in this illustration. And the magical thing with morning glory is it lasts one day. The flower opens one day and it closes, and then the next day another one opens. Every day is a reset. And you want to make the most of that day. Soak in, drink in as much as you can, and it can be fruitful. So one step at a time, one day at a time. I totally get why they chose Morning Glory for this Fool card. And set things intention-wise in the morning very carefully. So when you wake up, take a deep breath, let go of yesterday and think, it's a new day. And I'm just going to let today be what it needs to be. I'm not carrying the burdens of yesterday into today. I'm setting in the potential of tomorrow. I've got to make it worth it. I've got to make it work, okay? Let's expand this forecast. We're going to look at the energy of health, wealth, love, and destiny briefly, because I would like to go a little bit deeper into some of the other messages. So let me just get everything set up here, and we will start off first with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. All right, for health, we have the house. So for some of you, there may be a necessity right now to find a place where you feel safe. The house is not always physically a house. It can be a structure in your life, kind of like we were talking about the Hierophant building, that is sustainable. So it's an exercise routine. It's a group of friends. It's how hard you're working. It's the foundation in your life, making sure that the foundation is strong and that you feel safe in the environment of the relationship, of the physical place that you're at, all of that. And if anything is, sort of like creating cracks in the foundation, chipping away at the integrity, that's where the focus is. It's very symbolic, but that's what I get. Some of you may be moving into a new house, selling an old house, or looking for more space in your life, particularly for those of you that got the Hermit. There may be something that feels like it's a little suffocating, and this card is accentuating that and acknowledging that. Specifically looking at the spread through the context of health, what do we see? The most important thing, and the only thing that might block your forward momentum this month is emotional well-being and physical. We'll talk about it. Three of Swords is a little bit of both. We talked at great length about how pain is a teacher, but it does not have to be the only teacher. Now let's talk a little bit about how it can help us pivot. So when you don't like something and you feel like I've had enough, that is one of the most powerful moments because it gives you permission to imagine a different future. So I don't remember when I watched this. It was a couple months ago. I rewatched a very old movie at this point because the technology is ridiculously antiquated, but You've Got Mail. There's one line in that really struck a chord with me, and it's when the owner of a bookstore realizes that they have to sell, that the business isn't working. And her friend said, what an exciting moment, because you get to imagine a path that's very different for yourself. The movie's corny, but that one line is really powerful. When you think to yourself, it's brave. That's what she said. It's really brave to imagine a different path for yourself. We don't get to do that very often. Sometimes we're thrust into it, like you get a pink slip, you get made redundant, you quit, whatever. There are moments where that happens, but there are other times where the universe just thrusts us into a situation where we have to deal with it. So whether you're wantingly and knowingly doing it or you have to do it, it's all Pluto energy. This too shall pass, and now you can follow your heart. Please follow your heart in the next portion of your life, whatever that might be, okay? Physically speaking, that was kind of deep, but it happens. With the Three of Swords, it's also a physical card. So are you exercising enough? Are you paying attention to blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, all of those things? I am not a doctor. If you need to talk about that with a doctor, get the help that you need for sure. All right, let's see what else is coming through with respect to general health and well-being. The slow and steady card, absolutely. So the Seven of Pentacles reminds us, as with anything, whether it's Seven of Wands, Seven of Pentacles in health, you don't want to overextend. What I'm specifically getting on this is stretching. So if you've started to train for a marathon or something of that nature, you have to stretch your muscles before using them. But for everyone else, it's about knowing that breaking point, because we don't want to go backward because it might take longer next time to recover. So slow, steady, consistent. You're not trying to impress anyone but yourself. And at the end of the day, it's your body and it's your life. So value it and work with it well, okay? All right. I think that's pretty much everything. I do like these two cards. They work together. So the World and the Fool. It might be time to move. It might be time to move your body. And if you're moving your body, just like we talked about, sometimes less is more. The Fool is just walking outside, one step at a time. Or for those of you that have limited mobility, it can even be working out in your chair or in your bed, making sure that everything's being stretched and moving, so that that also helps you move your mind. When your energy moves, it allows you to see things from a new perspective. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to touch on. I think we've seen it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, we're going to move on. Let's take a look now at wealth. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. You may be asked to step in as a mediator. You may need to get someone to mediate. You may be in the throes of a Seven or Five of Swords or Five of Wands situation where there's a difficult conversation. The most impactful and powerful way to address it is through empathy and understanding, or at least trying to understand the other person's point of view. So especially if they are fighting with you, you can say, I understand, or I hear what you're saying, but we need to take a step back so that we can both have a chance to talk. And, so there may be a moment where the empathy will come through and help you heal, but you never want to be condescending. You never want to be dismissive. But because we have such power cards here, like the Hierophant and the King of Swords and the World, you also won't allow someone to mute you. We had a star reverse too for the, the air signs or whatever. You need to make sure that you are, not the air signs, it was fire. But you need to make sure that you're being allowed to be seen and heard as well, okay? So both sides. It's a two-sided coin. Coins have two sides. All right, let's take a look at this from 5 major categories. We'll move quickly through them so that we can get to the next area. But starting off with those of you that are employed, you're either moving up or you're moving on. You're either expanding or you're exploring. It doesn't mean that something has to happen immediately, but there is this general discussion at the moment that it's time for a new experience or a level up. There's something that has happened that maybe not your favorite. There could have been a setback. There could have been some not so constructive criticism, just cruel words. And it's important to have your voice or your side of the coin communicated in this moment in time. As a content creator, I'm used to constructive criticism. I'm also just used to cruelty and criticism. And so one thing that I've learned is you've got to tune it out. There's always going to be a naysayer, and you've got to focus on like the 80 or 90% of the people that might be supporting you. You can't put too much energy into that one or two people that might be in the Three of Swords energy. Okay, if you're unhappy, it's time to move on. That's another key piece in here. What else is coming through? Magician, Three of Wands, and the King of Swords. What a powerful time right now. You can set something into motion, particularly a transfer, a promotion, or a chance to try something different. I'm pretty pleased with general resources. Just try not to say yes too much to everything so that you overextend yourself. It's a powerful month as long as you're happy. If you're unhappy, it's time to explore options out there, get that sort of safety net, negotiate if you want to, but move on if you want to as well, okay? And your biggest strength is communication this week. Moving on to entrepreneurs. A change needs to happen. A change could do you good. And I think for many of you, it's about finding a way to expand the vision beyond what you're doing. And so if you've been painted into a corner, before you get too unhappy or lose your patience, give yourself permission to explore some other things. Like myself, not everybody can take a break, but if you can explore something and then pivot, that could be really, really helpful in this moment in time. I like that there's 8 of Pentacles in the environment. It shows me that you might be cooking up something new. I also want you to read feedback and look at the quality of production. As long as the quality remains consistent, I think so will your bottom line. There is a little bit of overextension, so there might be something that needs to be cut. Aside from that, it might be a great time to do an in-person event, whether it's a hiring fair or a seminar or meeting some of your customers. Somehow connect, because the Fool is literally traveling and the world is getting out there and exploring the world. So finding a way to bridge the gap between you, your company, and your and the people that you're impacting, whether it's employees or clients and customers, somehow making the connection. Okay, moving onward to job seekers. Time to explore something different. Don't do what you did before. Allow yourself to be happier in the next job, as I said. You may go into the entrepreneurial energy because this is a creation energy. It just hinges on how much you have, resource and time-wise. If you have it, do it. If you don't, maybe seek an investor. If you can't do that, then what you want to look at is something where you can learn and grow and allow yourself more growth potential in the next job. Can you find it? Yes, but it probably requires either a commute or a move. You may also be looking at doing something like broadcasting, publishing, or social media because the world is connected to those big media energies. It's all in the power of your words and in the consistency of your production and the quality of what you do. Focus on quality and level that up. I should say bubble that up when it comes to any sort of application or communication. Nobody really does this nowadays, but if you can get that face-to-face or even walk a CV or resume to someone, that could be very beneficial. So for some of my first job interviews, I did go to company, HR departments don't even exist anymore. But I remember walking a resume in and making a face-to-face connection and actually just landing an interview one day because I was in the right city at the right time and I'd worked for another branch of this company in another city and they were like, oh, let's look up your records. Oh, actually, yeah, we have something for a month. Are you interested? And I just created a job like that. It's very hard to do that nowadays, but you may be able to be at the right place at the right time. An example of this is you might meet someone. An elevator pitch is necessary. So let's imagine you are able to meet with an executive or a hiring manager or someone that knows someone, and they're like, what do you do? What's your idea? You have until I get to the next floor to do this. So be able to consolidate your thoughts in such a way that you could put it out there and someone could say, all right, I'll give you a chance. It's good anyway for the interview when you eventually land it. It's not an if, it's a when, because we have magician energy. Being able to summarize is really important. People have a limited, even now, especially more so, a limited attention span than like when I first started working in like 2000. Our attention spans have diminished significantly. So summarization is key, okay? Students, some of you have graduated, congrats. Some of you want to shift your major or transfer to a new school, looks good to me. The important thing for everybody when we're looking at money and finances is don't make a decision on the Three of Swords. You've got to go to the source, heal, and then pivot. If you do it while you're emotionally charged, it's very rarely a good decision. You're probably going to have to backtrack a little bit. So give yourself time and space to explore. That is Three of Wands energy, a trip. All three of these are travel cards. There are ships in this. This is literally expanding and looking at the world, and this is walking. So before you make a decision for the new students, I want you to have 2 or 3 choices. You should take a trip to see each of those choices, and then and only then follow your heart. Don't go into something because of pressure or simply because of the money. Try to find something that blends the best of both worlds, if possible, okay? Moving onward to retirees. There is this wanderlust, this desire to want to sort of see more. Doesn't necessarily have to be like traveling to a different country, but experiencing new things, taking a class, writing a book, exploring the city in which you live, maybe getting on a plane or a train or some sort of transit and exploring the larger world. One thing that is clear here is that some of you may have lost something, or there's this reminiscent energy thinking, oh, I wish I could do this. I wish I had done this. So take the bucket list and make it happen. We can't, try though we may, go back to the past and change it. You wouldn't be who you are if you did. You wouldn't have the knowledge that you have now if you did. So simply choose differently in the future. Again, Pluto energy is really different when I read it. So pardon me if I just come through a lot more straightforward. That's how Pluto works. Love and relationships. Let's see what's coming forth. So we have a very, very verbose card. I like this deck, but there's so much. All right, the polar bear. Let's start with that. The polar bear is able to survive in a climate, in an environment that others wouldn't. In fact, it can thrive. So this is about developing a thicker skin. I'll read it. This is too much text to the deck creators out there. Know that challenges make you stronger. Have faith when you face adversity. Take time to rest, dream, and renew your strength. That is connected to Pluto. Embrace your psychic abilities. You carry the shaman within. Too much, too much, too much. I'm going to pick 3 things to focus on from this. Challenges make you stronger, the first line. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. You're going to get through this. The 3 of Swords at the center aligns with that. Rest, dream, and renew. Take time to rest, dream, and renew. Sometimes we jump from situation to situation and we don't rest and figure out, how can I solve this? So you've already got the answer. The World card is at the center. It's just a matter of leaning into that. You carry the shaman is the magician. The magician can make anything happen. Okay? They could have edited that card. All right, that's just the English major in me thinking, why so much? Okay, when we're looking at tarot cards, you really just want like 3 words sometimes. All right, let's move on now, looking at this from a relationship point of view, starting with those of you that are partnered. You might be on the heels of an argument. 3 of Swords is invariably someone that's either carrying pain or perhaps that said something. Whether you're hurt or you hurt someone, I'm sorry, 2 words can do a lot. You might also just be experiencing a major change in your life. There could have been a loved one that transitioned, a parent. There could be a job that was lost. Maybe you're just easing into a change. I just read for retirees. So when you say goodbye, it's like death of self, death of ego. That is one of the elements of Pluto. So when an old part of you transitions and you're like, I got to do this now, it's always difficult at the beginning, but it gets easier as you allow more time and energy to go through. One of my friends just had a baby. this is part of it too. It's just about leaning into that change, okay? It's normal to mourn the loss of the old self. Something amazing awaits you. Take it one step, one day at a time. If you've been dating for a while and you aren't married, this is about probably making it exclusive, and it looks like it's level up or move on. So moving in or moving out. The key to success is communication. King of Swords is there for a reason. We have two different types of energy here. This one shows how they feel and creates a safe space, like the house and the money and all of that. They're like, I'm the provider. This one is like, yeah, but like I need to hear it sometimes too. So, and this person may be like, but show it to me. So meeting in the middle, showing and telling, knowing where you are, knowing what your partner needs, that's going to be the key here. I like that you're busy. Resources look pretty good. Try not to overextend yourself in expenditures this month. And try not to lecture. Easier said than done. Let your partner come to you. Ask them what kind of advice they want. If they want advice at all, that can help you avoid the Three of Swords at the center. If you're single and looking right now, there are plenty of options. There may be an age or experience gap in the type of partner that you're bringing forth. They may be from a different part of the world or just a different background. There's some healing that needs to be done before you go into a relationship first. When the healing is done, things start to rapidly take root and take form. And what we see here is an air sign coming forth. So an Aquarius, a Gemini, a Libra, some sort of strong, outspoken person that is easy to talk to. There's someone from the past for some of you that felt more like home, but it does feel like the past is best left in the past, especially with the Three of Swords at the center. So there needs to be some work on releasing that earth sign and allowing for something newer to come forth. Okay. If you're single and happy, congratulations, good for you. Here's what I see for you. A chance to travel, a chance to level up when it comes to money or a project, and a spiritual awakening, especially with Magician and Hierophant energy. This is amazing, actually, how far you could go in your own psychic or spiritual path this month. Now let's take a look at your Destiny card. Pluto also helps us with this. Going deeper into something and seeing beyond the illusion, beyond the facade. And once you take the mask off, there's no putting it back on. This is also an encouragement in all things to go beneath the surface and see what really exists beyond that. Once you go beyond the facade, things can get either more or less attractive because you see the truth of it. And the truth is powerful. All right, we are going to do a 3-card big idea. And we're going to look at release, rebirth, and renewal, since they're all parts of Pluto. And then I'm going to move on to the meditation. All right, so a card for release, a card for rebirth, a card for renewal. All right, so we have the Empress, the Devil, and the Seven of Wands coming through for those 3. We're going to start off first with release. Okay, so this is really about the release in the form of letting it go and birthing it. If you've worked hard to create something, it's done. It's just a matter of knowing that, again, the attachment to it is more of an emotional thing. And because we have the bookends, the World and the Fool, in the center and at the close of the spread, then we know that something equally as exciting awaits. I talked about supernovas. It's not about repeating success. It's about taking all of the elements and reimagining them. So for those of you that might be like a musician or an artist, or even like if you are a business or an entrepreneur, business person, I should say, and you've done something well, you're not trying to catch lightning in a bottle twice or make it happen again. You're going to reimagine and continue to innovate. Innovating and releasing and exploring is what I'm really getting with this. That will help you let it go, knowing that this isn't it. This isn't necessarily the zenith. What if tomorrow's the best day? What if the best is yet to come? What if my imagination is limiting me? Let me just allow the world to show me what's possible. That's why we hold on sometimes, it's fear, okay? Number 2, we have rebirth. Interesting. So the devil comes through when we are engaged with something or someone that can't provide that which we seek. This is really cool because the devil is seductive. The devil is playing his fiddle there, and he's it can be someone that is feeding you a line that is nonsense, but it sounds really good. They're a good salesman. They're a great communicator. The devil would be attractive and could sell you anything, but it's not a deal worth making. So in order to truly be reborn, it's about letting go of something that's not enough because there's something better, because you love yourself enough to let that go. And if somebody can't give you what you need, definitely that's a wake-up call. So the devil is seductive. The devil, don't beat yourself up if you couldn't see a devil sort of situation until you got in the throes of it. Just congratulate yourself for having the ability to say thanks but no thanks, or just cutting the cord, okay? And then the renewal that awaits, a little bit of a push, but totally worth it. It's on the heels of success. Six of Wands comes first, then the Seven of Wands. With the Seven of Wands, working smarter, pushing back on unnecessary sort of like requests or expectations, and also pushing back on the nonsense. I think this is a great week ahead, and I think you've got exactly what it takes. You chose a fantastic energy. I encourage you more often to choose the difficult choices because I typically want to help you through them. So, if there is something around healing, the messages usually are more powerful. Pluto, I was thrilled. I woke up, I'm like, what? Pluto? I'm pinching myself. We actually took the hard option today. I'd rather do that as a reader for you, so don't be afraid. I'm never going to go in a fearful place with the readings. Why not get the Cliff's Notes to the tough stuff so that you can coast through the easy stuff? You don't need me for that. So that's my encouragement to all of you. Before we get into the meditation, we're going to do a final card right after this. And I put a poll up there. I think I'm pretty clear on what I want to do for the next round of videos. I am well aware that we need to catch up. I think I'm going to encapsulate 2 months. It's the leading one. So this week, I'm just going to push through and get us ahead. And then I'm going to do July and August together. And then next month, I'll be looking at September. I either had to skip a month or truncate. And when I do the 2-in-1, I'm going to basically change the format for a month. And this is because I've just been going through some health challenges over the course of this year. And I'm feeling better, but to get us caught up, it has to be compressed. I can't go back in time. I can't go into a time machine. I'm not Doctor Who. So I saw a bunch of comments this week where people were upset. So I was like, let me just tell you what's going on without getting into all my personal business. So that's it. There's been some things with just energy and rest that I had to take care of myself. So always assume the best. That's what I would put out there. And I think that it's a good general note for everybody. All right, let's meditate. And then we're going to get into that final question for today. Close your eyes if you will, please. Deep breath, let it go. Release your shoulders, neck, and back. Imagine that you are standing on the planet or the dwarf planet, whatever, Pluto, which is sort of out there in the very, very far expansive space. The sun would just be a little tiny pinpoint of light. From this distance, allow yourself to see the big picture. This is something we don't allow ourselves to do often enough. Really, in this moment, ask yourself, what do I want? Not in a way of pressuring yourself, because sometimes that question can feel heavy. Go into your heart, take another deep breath, see the beautiful green light that is connected with expansion and growth on this planet, but also is the true color of the heart chakra. See this beautiful green energy course through your veins, course through your lungs, envelop your body in this sort of healing and warm, just sort of embrace. And know now that your heart shall guide you. What do you love is an easier way to look at this. What brings you joy? What brings you safety? How can you bring more of that into your life? Now ask yourself the easy question, what do I want? Not as a pressure, not to kind of put pressure on you, but to open the heart. What do I desire? What do I love? Allow these things to help you start to build and manifest something in your life that really matters. Imagine that you're even starting to warm up the cold planet of Pluto itself. And in doing so, you can see that you're not stuck anymore. You're free to move forward. You are liberated from the energy of the past, and the best is yet to come. Give yourself a little hug. Feel the warmth of the heart. Know that you are protected, and tune into the compass that is the heart as you move forward in the week ahead. Place your feet on the ground if you haven't already. Gently open your eyes. Turn your attention to a final question that you have for me, and let's see what Spirit has to say. Okay, we have an ace coming through. It's a good card. So if you asked a yes or a no, the ace is a yes. The Ace of Pentacles represents an opportunity where you really want to go for it. But you get what you give. And if you're not receiving, then the person or the opportunity isn't deserving of the investment that you give. So it's a two-way street. There are two sides to each coin. You're going to open yourself up to feeling it, but if the other person isn't doing that work, or if whatever you're putting your time and energy into is, not listening, it's like the Two of Swords, blind and deaf to it, then what you want to do is say, okay, I'm going to find a place where the energy is open. I'm going to plant a seed. I'm going to watch it grow. I'm going to enjoy the process of growth and expansion. Yes, I can. Let's at least start with the yes, I can. Then you can go to I will and I am. But I need you to get into the able-minded thinking of it's possible, and I'm possible, and I can do this. Then you will make it happen. But first, yes, I can. That's all you have to put into your mantra this week. Yes, I can. The I am will happen naturally. Don't force the I am, or I will. What a powerful reading. Part of it is because I was up late last night too, and I remember when I first learned with my tarot teacher, he's like, sometimes you'll find when you are just when you don't have that sort of ability to overthink, it just flows through. So part of it was the topic, part of it was because I got the bare minimum of sleep, and I'm functioning on intuitive downloads today without myself putting too much filter in the way. So thank you so much for a cool topic choice for today. All right, a couple of quick notes. Please, if you're brand new, subscribe. If you've watched for years and never subscribed, it doesn't cost anything. That's joining. Subscribing is free. Hit the thumbs up. One time you can only do it, but thank you in advance. You can hit a heart anytime here. Leave a comment when this goes on replay, especially because that level of engagement helps other people discover the video. Don't ask me how or why. That's how YouTube works. If you would like to show support and join, membership has its privileges. This week, hopefully I can get to the member video. I'm thinking of doing a healing session, so I'll probably just pick a date on the calendar and we'll do a healing session. Something deeper where there's meditation, where we pull a few cards, where we're doing some healing, something that I can't always do on the main channel because the meditation videos aren't popular, but I can do healing and meditation when I do membership stuff, so something like that. You can also show support by following me on other platforms. That way, if you miss the notification here, I always post it on all the major platforms. YouTube limits me anyway. If I ever do more than 3 videos, it'll only send out 3 notifications. So you'll notice that most content producers only do 3 videos per day for that reason. Anything past that, you won't hear about it. So if I ever need to do another one and you follow me elsewhere, you'll get that notification. Okay. You can also look at my website if you need more information about me. And now, thank you. We're going to take a couple of moments here to express gratitude and see who showed up and what you had to say. So I'm going to start off first with celebrating some fan anniversaries and look at all the stickers and things that you guys sent. Okay, so I think I can do most of it from this viewpoint. So we'll start off first with anniversaries. Leslie, thank you for 2 months of being a member. And Walk, good to see you. 19 months of membership. You're appreciated too. Thank you very much. Sharon, thank you for sending a membership to a new subscriber. Thank you, Heather, for doing the same, as well as Vicky, Deborah. Deborah did too. Thank you so much. Mira, thank you for being a member for 9 months. And I'm glad that you got that hermit energy that you were looking for. Deborah, 8 months of membership. Look at that star. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that you're experiencing that spiritual awakening. All right. Welcome to Cindy. Lucy, thank you for gifting a membership. Same thing for Glow Goes. Glow Glows. That's what it is. Thank you so much. Lucy, 40 months. Get out of town. You're amazing. Thank you so much for that long period of support. Much appreciated. Same thing with you, Gia. And welcome, Marianne. Okay, now looking at some of the stickers here. Color Me Happy, thank you so much. Hanson, let's see, Raven, thank you. Heather, thank you very much. Another big week indeed. Samantha, thank you very much. Heather, I'm glad you enjoyed the topic. Me too, I thought this was great. Sarah, appreciate your support. Same thing with Popcorn. And Leslie, let's see, Lucy, Jeannie, Yolanda, you all rock. Much love and light to you. All right, let me see if I missed anything. I'm going to take a look quickly at the sort of stickers tab, make sure that I got everybody. I think I got everyone. If not, while I'm doing this, thank you to Dakota for interacting with everyone and keeping it a safe space to chat. All right, so let me see. Looks like there was a couple of more stickers here, so I'm going to just go through this really quickly. Apologies for any repeats. Leslie, Teresa, Heather, Lilia, Lily again, Raven, Heather, Lisa, Bernadette, get out of town. Thank you so much. Actually, some of these were from last week. Okay, so let's see if there was any other ones here. Yeah, I think I got everything. We're good. Okay, Color Me Happy. I don't remember saying that. Hanson, Raven, Heather, Samantha, Heather, Sarah, Popcorn, and everyone else I saw today. So thank you. Yolanda, I think you just joined there as well. All right, to the new members that were gifted, welcome aboard. To everybody else, thank you so much. I'm going to get to work this afternoon on churning out some of the additional monthly ones. The goal this week is to get them all done, and then I'm going to do something special for the next round. Thank you for those of you that voted. So good to see all of you. Let's give Apollo a little pat on the head and wrap this up for today. Hey, Apollo. You good boy? Yes, you are. I know. So good to see you. All right, folks. Have a fantastic weekend and a week ahead. I'll see you again very shortly. I did just do a deck review featuring 3 new decks and an Oracle deck. You can go to the main channel page and it will be under the latest updates if you want to check that out. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Have a good one. And I'll see you again. Same time, same place next week.